Today I'm going to do an episode on one of the most important systems on any camper, the tires and wheels. I think everyone knows how important these are, but many of you don't know how to properly take care of them. So let's hop to it. Maintaining your tires and wheels is very important to the safety and function of your camper, but I know a lot of you don't do an adequate job of servicing them. I'm not sure why, because this is one of the easiest systems to inspect and work on. Let's start with some basics. Have you ever noticed a brownish waxy substance building up on your tires? That's a protective oil called anti-ozonate that's in the tire rubber compound, and it's discoloring because exposure to air and sunlight is causing it to chemically break down. The process is called tire blooming, and it's kind of like the tire is getting a sunburn. Just like on your skin, tire blooming is a sign of damage. If allowed to go on unprotected, the damage will cause the tire rubber itself to dry and degrade. Fortunately, you can easily slow down the process. Start by occasionally applying a good tire dressing that has a protectant in it. Most of these only need to be sprayed on and allowed to dry, so it only takes a minute to do. If you can, spray the back sides of the tires too. Your tires will be sealed against ozone and they will look nice on your camper. Buy a good set of tire covers. If your spare isn't covered, get one for it too. Using both the covers and the tire dressing will help block the UV rays and ozone, and your tires will last much longer. Besides, you won't end up with ugly, brown, hard to clean tires. Another easy way to protect your tires is do not park them directly on dirt, sand, or asphalt. Dirt allows moisture to migrate into the tire, and asphalt has oils that can attack the tire's rubber. Park on concrete or packed gravel, or place a pressure-treated wooden board or a heavy rubber mat under each tire. Have you installed a tire pressure monitoring system? The cost of a system is much less than having to repair tire damage to your trailer. A tire that lets loose at highway speeds will create havoc on your camper. Using a TPMS is an easy way to help prevent this possible disaster. Take a look at the brand of tires you have on your camper. Are they good quality tires or are they cheap imports? You can do a Google search about the low quality tires that are being put on campers nowadays. See how your brand rates. I replace my cheap tires with Goodyear Endurance tires. They cost more, but the ratings are much better. Years ago, when I bought my C-Class RV, the dealership installed 6 brand new but inexpensive imported tires. They all had to be replaced due to shifted belts before I even drove 3,000 miles on them. Read the printing on the tire sidewalls. There will be a 4-digit code stamped into it. This code tells you the tire manufacturer date. The first 2 digits correspond to the week and the last 2 are year, so these tires were made the second week of November 2020. The general rule of thumb is you should change your trailer tires every 7 years to avoid possible material failures, so I'm good until the end of 2027. Now look for speed ratings. Not all trailer tires have the rating stamped on them, but you should be able to find something online. Are your tires sufficient to carry the camper and loads you are towing? Many people tow way faster than their tires are rated for. I know, I see you passing me down the interstate all the time. My Goodyear Endurance tires have a speed rating of N, which means they can handle speeds up to 87 miles per hour, a speed which I'd be crazy to tow at. The manufacturer specs also say that each tire can handle a load of 2,040 pounds. Since I run 4 tires, that means a total trailer weight of 8,160 pounds. My camper fully loaded is under 6,000 pounds, so I'm well within the safety margin. While you're looking at the tires, now's a good time to do an inspection. Check the surface of the tires for cracks, blemishes, or bubbles. There obviously shouldn't be any. Inspect the rims, looking for any cracks, bends, or heavy corrosion. Look at the tire treads. Each tire should have decent tread remaining, and any wear should be uniform and even across the entire face. Now crawl under and inspect the back sides of the tires. Check the springs, axles, shackles, and all other hardware for looseness, damage, or wear. Grab each tire and vigorously shake it in and out. The bearings should be tight with no play. If everything looks good, your tire wheels and suspension should be fine. One other thing I always do is use a tire gauge to check my tire pressures. Even though I use a tire pressure monitoring system, I don't think the sensors are very accurate, so using a tire pressure gauge is a better way to make sure each tire is properly inflated. Check the yellow tag on the front corner of your camper for the suggested tire pressures. Make sure you don't exceed the recommended pressures on the tire sidewalls though. Your trailer tires may have been inflated with nitrogen and you might be concerned on how to add air to it. Well, don't worry, you can use good old regular atmospheric air to inflate your tires. The whole concept for using nitrogen has been proven to not even be worth it. You know what else is not worth it? Not subscribing to my channel. While I'm out here at my camper, I'm just going to go ahead and grease the wheel bearings. Under normal operation, campers only need this done around every 7,000 to 10,000 miles. For me, that works out to somewhere between 3 and 4 years. This job is really easy to do and will take me around 1 minute per wheel. I will be using a thin-bladed screwdriver, an old rag, some disposable rubber gloves, and a grease gun filled with wheel bearing grease. I have 2 grease guns. I keep the larger one at home, and the smaller one is in my camper's toolbox. Once I actually had to change a wheel bearing while we were out on the road, so it came in pretty handy. I start by removing the center cap on the wheel hub. Using the screwdriver, I pop it free. Next, I reach in and pry up the edge of the rubber dust cap. You can see the nipple that goes to the bearings. This is called a bearing buddy or bearing protector and it lets you add grease without needing to pull the wheels off. If you have a really old camper, you may not have bearing protectors installed. In that case, you'll need to find a video on how to manually repack the bearings, or you can buy and easily install the protectors on most axles. I wrap the rag around the tip of the screwdriver and insert it into the hub. A few swipes around cleans up any residual grease. Next, I insert the end of the grease gun onto the nipple and pump in some fresh grease. You don't need to go crazy, 5 or 6 pumps should be good. I clean the dust seal and reinstall it. The outer cap snaps back into place and this wheel is done. The entire process takes about 1 minute per axle, so in about 5 minutes all 4 tires are completed. While I have my stuff out here, I might as well repack the A-frames wheel bearings too. My tires are inspected, filled with the proper amount of air, the suspension has been checked out, and the wheel bearings are repacked with fresh grease. The whole process took me about 20 or 30 minutes. I do my inspections at least 2 times a year. Here's a quick tip for when you're towing down the road. Whenever you stop for fuel or take a break, take a second and feel each of your wheel hubs. They may be warm, but they shouldn't be hot to touch. If they are, stop towing until you can get your rig serviced, as you may be about to seize up a bearing or your brakes may have locked up. How about high-fiving that like icon, jingling the bell, and hitting the subscribe button? I'd really appreciate it. Until next time, keep camping.